What's good, world? The universe, the people. It's Voice here back with another fasting video. Food addiction for real. Gonna talk about food addiction and how food addiction and fasting relate. And this video is a big video because we're right in the middle of it right now. And this is an important time of the year. This is one of the cycles that I noticed that we was trapped in, that uh, we enjoy life to the fullest end, but we also should be aware of what's going on around us and with our bodies and minds. In this video, I want to talk about the holiday season. And this is one of the biggest things I notice about my life and everybody else's life in this world when it comes to eating and being addicted to stuff is we're not highlighted how during a certain time of year it's okay to overindulge almost every single week or every single day with some people because they're in a rich season, in a rich time. Now, we're not living in a super rich time, but we're living in a time where we're throwing away food and there's people that are starving. And there's people that are undernutrition, undernutrition, and then overindulging in food. And it comes to the fact that we have a holiday season. A lot of people aren't aware of it, what the holiday season is or when is it, but it's bigger than you think, and it continues to grow with our society. And depending on what happens in the future, it will continue to grow, and we won't be aware, and we will have more problems that we're dealing with today in this society and in the past. And I feel like if it's in the present and in the past, it's going to be in the future, unless we have a solution that we can talk about on a regular basis, that that we that we can correlate to. Because a lot of people want to do shortcuts and still do the same thing. Not in my eyes, and what I've seen in the past and in the present, that's not working. They're always coming up with a different shortcut when there's old shortcuts that they're trying to do to be able to live in this rich time during the year, and it's not feasible for your body. It's just not something that was the right thing to do when in human evolution we went through periods of rich and unrich, and very dark times and very high times and very low times. You understand? So this earth has always been diverse with the weather, with the people, and with the resources that are available. Because if there's icebergs up there in the North and South Pole, don't you think the water levels was high? If the water levels was high, there's a lot of other places that aren't available to humans. So we have to always be adaptive to the earth and what's going on. So when it comes to us as humans creating something too, we have to be full aware too, because we're people of greed. We will, even though we don't all have it, majority of our mindset is to have too much and have a safeguard and to bury it in the ground and sit on top of it. That's our natural instinct with food, because living in famine or growing up listening to elders that lived in famine is not something that nobody's looking for, and everybody wants to have too much of what they love. And that's the problem, is that people think, oh, just because I love it, it's okay for me and I can overindulge, I can just keep going, and oh, it'll be all right because it's something good. And you can overdose on bad stuff, I mean good stuff. There's positive. You can overdose on vitamin C, and vitamin C is one of the most important vitamins for you. You can die from it. You know what I mean? You got to be fully aware of what you're doing to your body and how you're treating your body in this society. Because we live in a society where, in holiday season, as I explained it, is where it's back to back to back to back. Like almost every week or every other week, there's some event that they want you to do in a society to fuel the society, but at the same time, you're suffocating yourself by overindulging. So let me get into it about holiday season. It starts with back to school in my eyes, because after the summer, usually people aren't doing too much, in one or maybe two little out of town trips or out of state trip with summer vacation. But back to school, usually there's a whole bunch of sweets, treats, and candy, and a lot of pastries. Usually back to school events and coming back that first weekend back to school. Especially, I got two kids, and that was in elementary school the last 5 years. And yeah, every single year, back to school, there's some events and there's food there, there's drinks there. And I'm telling you, 90% of it is not healthy. And then when they do have healthy stuff, it's like second grade. It ain't really, nobody really cares about it. It's like somebody left it out in the corner all night. No, it doesn't look too well compared to the other stuff. That's why I always notice about back to school or any kind of little event that's going on in that August, September. And right after back to school is Labor Day. Labor Day is a family weekend and celebrate uh, the work labor that we have in this country. So majority of the people get the day off. A lot of people don't. My job in the past couple of years, they play around with me. Sometimes I'm working it, sometimes I'm not working it, but it's that whole unity of the system where they want us to all be indulged in this holiday season. This is the start of it. It's Labor Day, where you go out with your family, you do something extra than you normally do. And now that's 2 weeks after back to school, and what back to school is nothing but treats and candy and snacks and stuff, and then you going out to eat. And my say, when you're not making the food yourself or somebody that's a loved one, it's a foreign object to your body because they're doing it for profit driven and you're doing it for health driven. So two completely different things when you're always going out to eat and when you stand home and eating food that people make for you. So you want to get into that rhythm of eating. You want less hands touching the food that you eat, and you want to be having people close to you that make your food. But that's another thing with Labor Day is like they want you to go out and indulge. Like it's promoted to go out and to do something when I'm not saying it's not okay, but when you're on a rhythm and a pattern every single year, it's to get to break that rhythm sometimes to understand like what you're fully in. But after Labor Day is the big one, Halloween. And now Halloween's kind of big because leading up to Halloween and the after Halloween, everybody knows there's candy everywhere. Like 2 weeks before Halloween, it'd be like the 15th, and you see candy everywhere. People got candy. You go into a place and there's candy sitting on the side. There's little kids thinking about candy because it's on the advertisements. You got even at jobs, people just handing out candy because it's that time of the year. You know what I mean? Then you get to Halloween, and there's a whole bunch of candy. You know what I mean? Being that type of family where you're like, I did no sugar, no processed sugar for a whole year, no candy for a whole year, and living in this society where it's everywhere and trying to raise your kids in it is very hard. But I make my kids very conscious aware, yo, you can't eat candy all the time. It's not something that's a regular basis or everyday thing. You can go weeks without candy and be fine. Actually, you can live without candy and be even better than you do when you eat candy. And I constantly preach them to my kids, but I also let them experience to understand the chemistry that's going into your body. You need to know like this is something bad. You need to know the good, the bad, and ugly, and how to heal yourself. Plain and simple. When you get those four elements and you're aware of it, then you can go through life picking your poison, but understanding like, yo, this isn't good for me, but I'm only eating a little bit of this so I can enjoy what's going on, what other humans are doing. But it gets to that point where even in this cycle that we're in this Halloween, so much candy, and you gotta be like, all right, cut it off. Even if your kids get to the point they think every day they should have one piece of candy or two pieces of candy, no, cut it off. Especially when you're right in the middle of it. I didn't it. It's okay. 2 days later they won't remember that candy. Won't even remember I didn't throw away whole buckets of candy. Not even they don't clean forgot because they throwing fits over it. And I'm like, nope, that's exactly where they want you to be because you're right in the middle of it. Halloween, what's next? Thanksgiving. And so Halloween usually 2 weeks of eating candy. You get Halloween, then you have the leftover Halloween for a month. And usually a month later, people throw it away because it's Thanksgiving. Coming up to Thanksgiving, what this old stuff doing here? I need to refill my pantry, refill the deep freezers because, oh, you know who's coming over, what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a big feast, and Thanksgiving is a good time. I'm down for being thankful and giving to other people, but we gotta choose a different way. And this is what I started my YouTube channel to be given to us people that we don't have to overindulge because I was thought it was healthy that I was big and thick and I was always eating. I always had 2 plates and I thought that was healthy. No, especially this time of year. I used to have 3, 4 plates during Thanksgiving. I used to take a nap, wake up and eat more. You know what I mean? Eating leftovers for 4 or 5 days because of Thanksgiving and having that mindset of being like overeat, overeat, overeat because That's your way to showing your gratitude towards the people that are being thankful for you. And that's what I was taught in my family. Finish your plate. I feel good if you eat all the food I make for you. And it's like I was taught that at a young age, and I carried that from, I swear, from 7 all the way up to 27. And it got to that point like, yo, everything I put on my plate, I don't have to finish it. And you gotta get out of that mindset, overcooking and trying to overeat to please people, to make other people feel good, because that's the trap the system wants you in. Just pleasing, 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 serve, 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 and you don't even realize like you're killing yourself, and you need to serve yourself first. You over here. You over here over pouring your cup, and now you're drowning the table you're on. And now the table's gonna get widowed, and your cup gonna fall over. You don't even understand that you can break your own glass by overfill, continue to overfill, and people just live when they overindulge, overindulge. Don't even realize what's coming next. When it's constipation. Your kidney and liver's backed up and they don't function right. Now your heart's struggling to get blood everywhere because everything's backed up. Because we right in the middle of this holiday season, but you want to show people your gratitude because you're the biggest guy in the room, and you want to throw down. That's who I was. There was 2 times in my life when I was almost 300 pounds, and I both realized it was the middle of holiday season. I was like, wow, I need to change this. I didn't show a lot. I didn't show that I was 300 pounds, but yeah, I was almost there, hopping on a scale, feeling embarrassed, and I was starting to notice all the other stuff right in the middle of holiday season. This why this time of year you have to always like dig your heels into the ground and be firm with what you believe in, because they would consume you with the TV, with newspaper, magazine, books, uh, people, your community, just trying to get you involved to do it right, do what they say the right thing is, and it's okay. And I'm like, no, it's not okay. When I do my research and I understand that I've been living outside of my body index my whole life because I've been overindulging, because this is what my family and the community taught me to do. It wasn't just my family that was telling me overeat. When I went over my friend's house, when I went over community events, they wanted me to fill up my plate and overeat. And people enjoy that now. And it's sad that right in the middle of this time of year that people can't even be disciplined. People again deemed as the dark one in the room because they don't want to overeat. They don't want to eat what that option you have, and they just want to come over here for the vibe and the energy and not the food. And now they're deemed because they don't want to eat Big Mama's food or Grandpapa's favorite animal he killed or whatever. You know what I mean? It gets to that point where we gotta realize and be aware of like, yo, we're living in a holiday season where we're heavily rich, and that's halfway. That's just getting halfway through it. Thanksgiving, then you got Christmas. People's majority of people's favorite time of the year is Christmas. If it's not Thanksgiving, it's Christmas. And what you're doing during there, you're overeating. You got time off, so you're just chilling and you're overeating. It's cold outside. You don't want to do a whole lot. You're not being active, and you're overeating all the sugary stuff in the world. All the sugar, all the bad fats. You don't even know how to get rid of it. It's harder to get rid of bad fats than healthy fats. You got to work almost like when you have good fats in your body, you got to work 1 times better. When you have bad fats, you got to work almost 1.5 times better. And you put in a bunch of processed sugar, you got to work 3 times as hard to get that shit out. It always doubles. That 1 to 1.1 to 3. It's always doubling. The harder, the denser the stuff you put into your body. And people don't realize that this is right in the middle of the time of year. Go to the store right now. Guess what they run out of? Sugar, flour, and salt. They always running out of those 3 things because that's in every single food. When you mix those food, that's not a single, it's not like a single compound anymore in your body, and it's harder for your body to break down. And if you're doing the 3 white devils, the white sugar, white salt, and white flour, which are all bleached and fortified with whatever they're trying to fortify it with, you don't even know how your body's going to respond. That's why some people that eat the same thing as their brothers and sisters, and some will get diabetes as a teenager, some will get diabetes in their 50s or in their 30s. And it's because they don't even understand the chemistry, what's going on with their body with all this food. Then right after Thanksgiving, Christmas, then New Year's, you're always going out. You want to go out and do something. Go out. Usually it's a whole lot of drinking. New Year's, people drink the year out and live up and kiss somebody in new. You know what I mean? It's that emotion. I'm not a person. I don't drink a whole lot anymore. I literally drink once a month or once every 2 months. Like I used to be a hardcore binge drinker this time of year because it was always something to do. always something to do. So it was always Thursday through Sunday night. I was hammered, just drunk, taking shots, beers, doing whatever. You know what I mean? Going where the spot is at, going where everybody's at, just to do something, and not really. I wasn't enjoying my life for my accomplishment. I was just enjoying my life because I was alive. You know what I mean? I made it. I was in that mindset. Well, I made it to fucking 21. I'm good. You know what I mean? So this kind of lifestyle, and that's not even the end of it, because you got, even I forgot Veterans Day. People go out and do something, be very giving right before Thanksgiving. Then there's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. People go out a whole lot. Then Martin Luther King giving time. You know what I mean? Being thankful for what's going on, and being given towards like the leaders. You know what I mean? Who's trying to break the status quo, is what's going on and trying to change the world. And people don't even understand like that you gotta be diverse and change things up. Like you can't be stuck in your old ways all the time. Like it's a new change coming, and that's what Martin Luther King represent. Like that's why a lot of times at the beginning of the year, people try to change their diets, trying to change their lifestyle, or new year, new me. But you still in the holiday season. You got Martin Luther King. You go out and do something. You got Valentine's Day, and usually Valentine's Day is the end of it, depending on who has birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, like life events in between. Some people celebrate deaths, you know what I mean? Anniversaries, being at a job. So a lot, depending on how people see things, because I know in my family, I have my daughter's birthday, my wife's birthday, me and my wife's anniversary, my job anniversary, all in the middle of holiday season. All in the middle of holiday season, all of that, all clustered up in between that. And then it got to a point where I realized in my life, like, yo, I was trying to do the trend everybody else was trying to do, lose weight at the beginning of the year, new me, get into the gym, and that wasn't working because it was like 2 weeks in, then I had my wife's birthday. Then another week was right after my wife's birthday, it's Martin Luther King Day. Then 2 weeks later, usually it's Valentine's, leading up to Valentine's Day. And what we doing? What we going? What we doing? What we going? You know what I mean? I got a wife and two daughters, so they love that month and doing things and being lovey dovey. And there's money to be spent, things to be done, sugar to be eaten. You know what I mean? And it gets to that point where you gotta be open and aware to what's going on, and being real life like, yo, uh, can I really manage my life like this? You know what I mean? I really noticed it first because it was my health. Then I noticed it because of money. I was like, yo, we doing the same stuff every year, and y'all ain't even excited to do it no more. Y'all ain't more than like half of the stuff we buy to eat, the sugary stuff we're throwing in the trash. We don't even care about it. You know what I mean? You should care about the real food over the processed food, period. And it gets to that point where they will over endow, they was just drown you with it during that time of year, holiday season. Like you can't even get out of it. You would drown you in it, then you come out of it and like, man, I'm 50 pounds overweight. I gained 25 to 50 pounds in holiday season. You know what I mean? I did that twice in a 5 year span, going in and out of holiday season, losing weight, coming back, losing weight. And I'm like, wow, that ain't working. The new year, going into the gym and losing 25 pounds and 35 pounds. And then about time the summer get around, gaining all that weight back. Started little by little, maintaining it because it's summer, going outside more, being more active. And time holiday season starts, that weight bumps back up. It starts getting back up by 10 pounds at a time, almost every month. Instead of 5 pounds every month, 10 pounds every month. Then like I gotta change something, gotta do something. And I was like, yo, stop all this. You know what I mean? Stop all this. I had changed my diet. I was like, yep, and had went vegan, had like really vegetarian, then vegan, and then went to pescatarian. I really practice on a regular day basis is veganism, and I eat fish every now and then, but not as a regular thing. It's more of a luxury item and something extra add on top for omega 3s and some little extra protein. But I really on protein. I focus on amino chain acids and building those blocks that create protein. You got to realize the animals we eat, they don't eat protein either. They eat other things to create protein, and that's how they stay on a higher level. And that's when I start getting real information like that about amino acids, about minerals and vitamins, and combination of minerals that can help out with vitamins, and vitamins that can help out with minerals. Understanding how the liver works and the kidney works with filtration, it's like, oh, okay, my body can really maintain itself and rejuvenate. I just got to feed it the right energy. And then that's when, like, that was one solution for it. I got to eat healthier. And then I went through a whole holiday season fighting with everybody, telling them, yo, I want to eat this, not that. And they're like, what's wrong with this? You've been eating this. You was raised off of it. You did this and that. And it's like, I don't want to do it no more. I want to take a year off from this to see how it is. 1 year. You can't sacrifice one holiday season. You know what I mean? You already did it probably 20 times. You're going to do it 20 more times. And that's the average person. And like I seen that was abusing that lifestyle to the max. They was living to be in their 60s. I was like, yeah, I want to be 120. What does it take to be a centenarian? And I looked up, and a lot of things was like, yo, they don't overindulge at all. And the biggest thing was that they found about fasting. They fast on a regular basis. They don't eat past 80%. When they feel 80% for it, usually 50 to 80%. When they feel that, they don't eat no more. And then a lot of people, they live a very raw, where they eat a lot of raw foods, meaning fruits and vegetables are on raw or fermented. A lot of fermented stuff, because fermented preserves it a little bit. Because you got to realize refrigerators ain't that old. How old are refrigeraters? That's a whole video I'm gonna have to do. Refrigerators aren't that old. So what we was doing preserving food, and what we was doing before we had the mindset of preserving food. Because humans been around a long time. But this food that we eat on a regular basis in this holiday season has not been around. It's Jenny on the block. It's brand new. It hasn't been here this long. And people don't realize that. People just want to be addicted to the stuff and don't even realize outsourcing it, where it comes from, and what it's doing to their body. And that's my solution, is fasting. And big time is fasting and eating raw, because you stay clean and you stay healthy, and especially in the middle of holiday season. And that's why I fast. I started doing heavy fasts. I started doing more bigger block fasts in between the days I choose to eat. I choose to refeed, because I choose to go hard with fasting for usually 2 to 3 days out of the week, meaning a 24-hour fast, or 36, 48, or 72 on a weekly basis, to where I'm doing that when I work on Monday through Friday. When I work, I do my big fasts. And on the weekends, I really do intermediate fasts, where I stay 16 and 18. Sometimes I do 12s. And that's when I'm on the day of the holiday, a 12-hour fast. And I'm not eating the full 12 hours. It's they got something going on. I won't eat breakfast with them. I may have like some hot cocoa or tea. You know what I mean? I got my own mixtures. I like golden milk, and doing a very strong herbal green tea with some echinacea, with some moringa, with some spirulina, and some coriander. Um, all these like very high herbs and flower plants. I'd rather drink that. That's my coffee, my tea, rather than drinking the eggnog, and you know what I mean, and the hot cocoa with all the like the cow milk. Because if you make hot cocoa with vegan milk, it doesn't taste the same, and nobody wants that. You know what I mean? Like, that's what another thing been food replacers. Like, you gotta eat the real stuff that's bad for you, or not eat it, because food replacers, it's gonna, how long it's gonna take. You know what I mean? You experiment with your body and mind and spirit. Like, how long it's gonna take you to figure out what's the right way to, what's the right combination, when they already figured it out for decades. They know it's bad, but they embrace it. Just embrace it. Like, do what you want to do. Uh, uh, But yeah, like the like big solution there is like fasting in between. Like, I'm doing it right now. Leading up to Thanksgiving, I did a 72-hour fast 1 week. Then I did a 48 with plus a 24. Then I did a 90-hour fast right after Halloween. Before the week of Halloween, I was building up fast. So like, you gotta realize those gaps in between. You can go harder then. Like, I wasn't eating candy at all in between then, and I ate some candy with my kids. Like, you know what I mean? We don't really go out trick and treating, but we do things. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole community vibe. Like, we still do things to have fun and be entertain ourselves, because that's what it's all about, to enjoy our life here on this planet, and that's what you want to do to the max, to the most. But do you want to be suffering with all this food? Because that's what I was doing, and I wasn't even 26. I was suffering, living in a holiday season, and I was literally following the same footsteps as family members that I looked up to and that I was following, and I was chasing the beat. And I was like, yo, I don't want to live to be in my 50s. I want to live to be double that, actually 100. And what do I have to do? And it was like, oh, I got to take more away from my plate. I got to give back to the earth more. And when I say that, like, when you take from the earth more, you have to take 3 apples off the tree to eat. And that means that's your 3 meals a day. I only have to take one. That's me giving back to the earth because I'm taking less away and letting the earth, like the more the earth got to vibe off each other, it can grow, it can live, it can. You take all the apples off, and now there won't be another apple tree soon because apples have seeds in them and they help more apple trees to grow. But you eating up all the apples and the apple tree can't reproduce. And if you take so many from the apple tree won't give no more apples. You got to understand your balance, your role, and where you fit it into this world, into this environment, into the things we create as humans. Because holiday season is what we created, and we continue to add more holidays into it. As long as we got a family, there's people going to be born. There's events right in the middle of it that people want to celebrate with you, and it's got to like, yo, what's the best way to be resilient? This is the best way I found because I'm maintaining my weight. I gain, like, literally my weight fluctuates when I'm regular fasting. It doesn't really fluctuate. It just stays in the same area, meaning 1 to 2 pounds. But when I take a week off, not doing no big fasts, and I do just 12s and 14s and 16s, I gain a little weight because I changed my diet, but I'm adding more food in that weight change. But the direct week after, I did a 60-hour fast, and that was it, really. 60-hour fast with a bunch of intermediate, and my weight it dropped right back down. I got up, I'm at 188 right before Thanksgiving, and I jumped up to 196, and I was 197 the day before got back on my regular weekly fasting. I got back on that, and by the end of the week, I'm at 187. I'm literally back at 187. I'm like, wow. It's that simple. It wasn't that hard. It's a little hard at first when you jump back and forth in between going into a fasting state and then going into just a regular intermediate state, eating every day, but just staying in the intermediate fasting windows. It's a little bit hard, but after about a year, yeah, you'll feel it. You'll be like, yeah, I like being in more of a fasting state than an eating state. And then in between holiday season, yeah, you'll be like, yeah, I really don't want to eat with y'all, but I eat a little bit of it just to. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, I eat just to have the community vibes and to push the energy around. You know what I mean? But yeah, because right after Valentine's Day, the next month is spring equinox, and I'm like, wow, I don't want to be backed up. That's how I always seen it. You know what I mean? As my solution, it was like I was fasting between. Then after the holiday season, it's spring equinox, and spring is my time. My food is ripening. Fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and vegetables are coming back to life. Spring equinox starts. It's time to start doing spring planting and spring gardening. You know what I mean? So that's when all the good stuff in my eyes, all the good food is out there banging in. That's when I want to go do. Excuse me. I want to go out there and eat all that. You know what I mean? That's the good stuff to me. And it was like, I don't want to be heavy block fasting when it's late spring and all summer. I don't want to be doing a whole bunch of that. I want to be eating a whole bunch because I like doing mango fast, watermelon fast, cantaloupe fast, grape fast, berry fast, and I like eating all that together. I love my plums, peaches, and apples. You know what I mean? I love like hearty salads, and hearty soups. That's the only thing I really like during the winter is soups. I really like veggie soups, kimchi soups, any kind of hearty potato veggie soups. I eat that up all winter, but that's what I regenerate with during this holiday season because there's not a lot of fruits and vegetables. So beans, potatoes, really don't go heavy into starch. I still eat some fruit. There's still fruit around. Like I still pick my apples, dates, and bananas, and there's oranges. I am aware that our winter is the tropical fruit, their blooming time. So if we do get a tropical good source to come in, that's when I will eat some tropical fruit. Usually there's some mangoes or some papayas that's coming in, or some kiwis that's coming in from the southern hemisphere. But they're so well traveled that I second guess those, and so I really don't rely on those. I stick to whatever locally I can get fruit based, because there's some prickly pears still around. There's some there's not a lot of much. There's just vegetables, really, just a handful of fruits that can last through the winter, like dates and bananas are outsourced and apples, but it works. You know what I mean? you can do it. And yeah, man, like that holiday season will physically overexhaust you, mentally overexhaust you, pocket wise. You'll be 50 pounds overweight. You have to, oh, it's time to go get to the bag again because you know overspent, overate. You know what I mean? Now you're heavier, and now you got to work harder because you're heavier. And that's what I was realizing. I was like, man, I'm putting on weight, and every year it's getting harder. When I started losing the weight, every year was getting easier. So that's why this is the best way to maintain, because I haven't fluctuate. My weight fluctuate, like I told you, 10 pounds, and I lost it in a week. And I don't work. I don't go to the gym. I just work, and I have 2 dogs and 2 kids, and I stay active with my family. You know what I mean? The gym is not necessary for me because I stay active with my what's in my house. You know what I mean? Just staying active with the kids and the animals is just enough for me. And it gets to the point where usually people don't understand. They create your paradise that way, your home. You know what I mean? I want it. My next biggest thing is to create my whole backyard is to be a whole food forest. I want to be able to walk back there and pick as much fruit and veggies as I can on a daily basis and eat it, and not have to go to the grocery store. That's my next phase, because I'm fully aware of what grocery stores and food dispensaries are doing with our food to preserve it and to maintain the health of it. And they're trying to kill us just to maintain the health of it. And they're not even realizing that. So it gets to that point where being aware, you know what I mean? Uh, just fasting in between the holidays. Uh, Another thing, the cold weather and fasting go hand in hand, because it turns your white fat into brown fat, and brown fat inside of your body is the healthiest fat your body want to carry. So that's a whole nother topic to talk about, white fat versus brown fat and how you get brown fat. And I noticed that brown fat is a lot denser and heavier and harder to lose weight, but it's healthier fat for your body. And you want that more light brownish weight on your body instead of that, like, the white fat they call inside of your body. You can tell the difference. It's the person that has the more healthy looking weight, per se, rather than the sluggish looking weight. Like, I'm not trying to judge people by the way they look and how they carry themselves, but you can tell by body language and by certain telltale signs on your body and how healthy you are, and how you treat yourself within your environment, because there's a lot of healthy people in toxic environments and a lot of toxic people in healthy environments. So it depends on the choices you make, because you got the options. So man, it's all love. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to get everybody on a higher ground. You know what I mean? Like, the way I feel like it's lighter. I'm more energetic. I don't have to sleep as much, and I can keep up with the best. And it is great, especially this time. It's like I can come into holiday season 185 and leave 185. Like, wow. And I'm 187 right now, and it's December 5th. Yeah, it's December 5th. And we already went through a whole bunch of holidays and birthdays and got more to come. And I continue doing the same thing. Like, uh, it's possible, it's doable. Like, people don't realize how much time they have on this planet that they can live. Because I was under depression, living to 50 was good, and having that mindset, and I was just abusing everything that was coming across me, especially this time of year with eating and drinking. Because during this time of year, everybody loved making little nice spirits and having some rare wine to bring out, and mixing up the eggnog with some good bourbon. Like, yeah, man, that's all cool and everything, but like, how many times you gonna do that and realize, like, you're not even living no more, you're just suffering. And that's what I was suffering, like the binge drinking and the binge eating, like waking up thinking about food after eating all day long the day before. Like, at what point do you realize it's enough is enough? It's me being almost 300 pounds, and like, I was working out and keeping up with it, but it was just drag, man. I was sleeping 8 hours and wasn't feel like I was rested. Anytime I can get a nap in, I got a nap. And if I wasn't taking a nap, I was just trying to stay busy so I could stay awake. And it was like, yeah, my pancreas was failing, like, because I couldn't. My instant sensitivity was crazy. Like, time I ate, I was tired. I get the 50% full, I was tired. And that's why I was aware of, like, yo, my body is struggling, and I'm thinking I'm living it up because of this holiday season. And that's one of the things that I had to like stop myself. It's like, yo, I gotta back away from the table, back away from everybody else, and like this is personal. This ain't. I'll be the example for somebody else one day, and that's what this YouTube channel is for. But it got to a point where I need. This is what I believe in. This is what I'm firm is, and fasting. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. It just need to be brought to light. So it's all love, peace. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to help as much as I can. Peace, baby.